The most incredible clips always end up in frag movies, but no one ever breaks down what actually happens behind them. How did the players set themselves up for success? Was it just pure aim that won them the battle? Was it smart positioning or reads? Or sometimes, is it just a bit of pure luck?
Don't know how to build a team from scratch or find good teammates? DreamTeam.gg, the ultimate team building platform. Find and connect with new players, coaches and teams. Manage and monetize your team. Get on fast track to advance from novice to amateur and, if desired, to professional gamer. Join DreamTeam.gg today.
Backwards and forwards right now, but FaZe, courtesy of NiKo, have the advantage. Bomb will go down here if coldzera doesn't deny it, but he should be able to. And again, we're just going backwards and forwards, and now it's into a 1v1. Guardian hasn't had an impact on this round, but could certainly have a big one. As coldzera now in that 1v1 will find the angle, and woof.
Let's start things off something we're not too surprised to see, which is the coldzera 1vx clutch. It actually starts off with Boltz doing a great job of delaying here at the B apartment. So notice, as soon as he gets information, he's going to actually drop a very interesting smoke. One you don't normally see used by B players, but I actually kind of like the idea, and I want you guys to maybe play around with it again. Something to try out in your games. You can see it allows him to spot exist headers he's running at the end of the apartments, while also making it very difficult for NiKo to clear him out. And again, this is one of the huge things about being a B apartments player, is you give time for your players to rotate into the site. Notice right now, Stewie's had time to rotate in. Another kill from Carrigan, just onto Carrigan, sorry, staying alive. Stewie's had time to rotate in all the way through market. But also notice, Cold is the clutch player. He knows he wants to be the last player alive, so he's a little bit passive in this scenario, but he's still doing a great service to both Stewie and Boltz, stopping any players wrapping around the back, maybe trying to catch off Stewie. Stewie can just watch these different pathways. He doesn't have to deal with too much. Boltz has got him covered as well in certain directions. So again, very passive hold, but still one that he's achieving a good amount of information and just keeping his teammates safe enough. They do both lose the fights, but again, coldzera wants to be the last one alive. So NiKo ends up clearing out both these players, but notice coldzera's movement. As soon as this next fight comes in, he's repositioning straight away, trying to get a better position onto the site. And now, this is where the play starts to be made. And this is a two-edged sword, basically, that smoke being dropped from NiKo, because it does two things. It does a great job of denying information from coldzera. He can't make a play really this way, or he could, but it'd be very risky. But it also stops Guardian peeking onto this market door line. Guardian's already forced just to hold this area. Again, coldzera's positioning is very advanced. Maybe they weren't expecting it at this point. But basically, again, NiKo wants to delay for Rain to make his play, which ends up going down. Rain wins his fight, but Cold also wins the fight onto NiKo, who only has 9 HP. So again, the smoke giving Cold cover to make a move, and ultimately it's going to be what wins him this clutch. So it takes out that player. Rain peeks one at a time. Again, coldzera obviously knew he was there because we just took out Fallen. And also notice, Cold backs away the safest possible way. He uses the smoke very smartly to reposition, and then gets back here in the market window, a position Guardian wasn't expecting. And notice, because that smoke is down here, and because there's no line of sight through that part of the B site, coupled with the fact that he knew that Guardian was somewhere around the van area, he heard him fire off a shot earlier, allows Cold to back off into market and reposition without exposing himself really to any angles that Guardian could be facing onto. And again, this is a huge thing about clutching. Being able to reposition, stay unpredictable, and keep your opponent guessing, despite the fact that their teammate just made a call out of where you could potentially be.
Now, this could be the play that wins it for Astralis. Minute remaining. Players all around him. Tension starting to mount for himself. Stewie. Oh my goodness. He might just find it. Knife out is going to be the end of him. Still wasn't the cleanest kill from dupreeh. He's got so many players around him now, and he knows it. He still gets it. The bomb goes down. Smoke deployed, and it's going to be an absolute mess here. Oh no, SK.
Now, while obviously impressive that dupreeh can cover both ends of connector at once, shooting down 3 SK players, just his movement to get into that position is almost just as impressive, and probably even more important. You see initially though, he's going to take out Boltz, again abusing the fact of USP versus Glock at this range, knowing that he can't get spammed down by a Glock just showing his feet from back there. And again, as soon as he hears Boltz shoot, he just takes the angle and abuses the USP range. Again, you can't do that against AKs because I'll just spray you down, but with the USP, why not? A little bit of risky play. SK do like to rush B sometimes. But the next play I like that dupreeh makes is he just starts to push here towards Monster before anyone goes down. So he just gets the information here from Device. I've got 2 guys challenging me at long. And this just gives dupreeh the information that they're most likely playing one player here just to maybe watch this kind of push, and then they're playing the other 4 towards A very standard setup on Overpass, one that Astralis sometimes like to abuse with a flash into this area of the map. Not the case. Bolt's probably looking for that. But dupreeh makes the play here before the plays even go down. So you might think in some scenarios, okay, as soon as Device gets taken out, then Magisk gets taken out, Now dupreeh's going to maybe push and try and close the map on SK because he knows we're down a man, we need some kind of advantage. dupreeh doesn't even wait for that. Just this read and the fact that he got this first kill onto bolts is enough for him to start pushing here in towards connector. He doesn't walk. He trusts again the fact that they're playing over here towards the A site mainly, and he's going to jump into connector. Again, not going for a big flank. He just wants to shrink the map because what this does is in a 3v2 or 3v4, sorry, scenario, is his two players or his two teammates can play over towards the A site while he sits here in the middle of the map, just cutting off any rotations towards B. And again, there is a chance that they say everyone just slow walked out here like Fear and Cold, that the round would be lost. But again, you need to take some kind of risk in these scenarios. And dupreeh says more likely they probably come down this way and exploit out onto B, such as like that. And then my two teammates, Glaive out here again, checking towards Glaive and Zipex, sorry, out here. So good play by dupreeh using information before the players even go down. And again, this is where the highlight starts to happen. He's just checking both ends of connector, knowing they could come from both ways. Very aware, not tunnel vision at all. This is a great example of where once you make a play, you don't have to continue making a play. You can stop and just hold a certain position, and it's enough for your teammates to be allowed to do what they need to do. And again, he's just going to win this fight. Not much going on, just some great shots. A little bit lucky with the timing onto Cold Zero. Very small thing is he's spraying the smoke while advancing on that USP on the floor. So even if Fallen thinks, oh, he needs to reload now, pick up the other USP and potentially catch him off guard. So pretty simple play overall, just a good read from Device. And honestly, without that play, they definitely lose that pistol round.
Better than nothing. It does cost a little bit of time there for Mousesports. In the end, he actually does get rid of Sunny, spamming away through the wall. Nico. Oh, has he spotted him out there, or was that just a lucky kill? I'm not sure, but regardless, Chris J is dead. And that's what FaZe would want. Rops goes down as well. Trades across the board, but Nico is coming up absolutely massive right now. 4 kills so far and looking for the ace. He'll surely be able to get it.
So in this particular round, Nico uses a lot of utility early on towards Monster, just to deny any kind of rush and get any information if there's a player outside that area. Again, rushes can be very powerful on this map, especially through Monster if you use good utility, and the CTs don't have a Molotov out in time. So you might think a lot of utility to be using early on, but actually it's a good measure to often throw in just to deter that kind of attack. So Exist ends up going down, which is a bit of a bummer for FaZe, but after that you see they're very prioritizing on getting information towards short water or where the T side could potentially be. Again, on overpasses is a huge factor because there are so many avenues for attack for the T side and so many avenues that the CTs can push from. As you can see, Mousesport's very aware of this. But Nico, again, prioritizing staying alive and using his utility to deny any information or just delay this attack so him and Karrigan can set up exactly how they want to. So notice Karrigan's going to move over here towards the barrels, which allows them to set up quite a strong crossfire. Again, good information from Nico doing the jump spot and catches Sunny, which is actually, you can see he was setting up a smoke, so that's a little bit of Mousesport's execute gone. Now Karrigan also used his Molotov out here towards Monster because they want to set up right now. Obviously no utility left, so you're just going to set up in good crossfires so you can play together. And you're going to see Nico's going to play the fact that Karrigan goes down and use all that information and just slight mistimings from Mousesports to capitalize on it all and of course hit some incredible headshots. So you notice Karrigan can peek both towards Monster and out here towards the short area. Notice how he's playing this right now. As Nico, you already saw it, but he gets the kill in the smoke. And as this happens, Karrigan's going to peek out and make sure he's covered from the Monster area. Notice, however, he does go back into hiding as soon as Guardian's on the scene, because Guardian's got this contact out Monster, which Karrigan's going to peek off. And you can do the exact same thing with Nico. Notice the fact that I can't swap to Nico because the system's amazing. But he's in here, he's also watching Monster. So even if Guardian's not on the scene, he can cover this Monster angle. As soon as he gets contact, he can shoot that player, Karrigan peeks out. That's exactly what's going to happen. Notice it's actually Guardian that gets the contact right now. So as soon as the shot goes off from Guardian, there we go. Took a second. But that's when Karrigan decides to peek out. And Nico, again, in this scenario, he's right. Okay, guys, I've now got this kind of area. I got short covered off. You guys can trust me right now. Karrigan ends up going down, unfortunately. And Nico repositions again into the setup I was talking about before. He's now got Monster. He's in a very versatile position. And one last thing I want to point out about this spot is right now. See that shadow on the floor? I stopped it a little bit late. But Guardian can see Oscar before he can see him because that shadow slides out in front of your vision and Nico reacts very fast to this scenario, obviously something Nico's very good at. And then just to finish it off, he repositions really nicely as soon as he doesn't spot Rops straight away, playing off Guardian really well just to ensure this win into the round. And just like that, I know it's a little bit complicated. You probably know with me, some people say, why do you always pause the video? But had to explain that crossfire. That's one of the most important things about this round. Even though Karrigan goes down, he plays a big important role in it. Same with Guardian, taking that initial contact before Karrigan. So actually Nico's kind of like the third linchpin almost in this defense, but he's the one getting all the kills because Karrigan and Nico actually do their job quite well, getting the information which allows him to win this kind of round. One of Heroic's latest additions, Crowman, made a great play against Cloud9 and Mirage, and I just want you to notice his patience in this one after getting these first initial kills, how he plays the smoke really well, repositioning around the boxes so that neither of the players can see him, and really baiting out the information from both FNS and Rush before taking his peek. He's not taking nice and early peeks, he's forcing them to peek because he could be on the bomb. FNS tries to peek nice and early. Just focus on that, and you can work out how he won this 1v2, playing it quite cleverly with the smoke. But that's it, guys. A bit of a new series, so give me your feedback on it. Maybe any suggestions you have for future videos. You thought this was good, or you prefer some overall focus on different players or different topics, or just a little bit more jumpy around, but still, I want to talk about what happens behind those frags. So I think that's quite important rather than just seeing these amazing clips all the time, not really understanding how those players developed. But as usual, make sure to subscribe and like the video if you do like this kind of content, and I'll catch you all in the next one.